It does take a day for this recording to render, so it will be tomorrow, sometime tomorrow, before I can send that and a copy of the slides. But you do need to comment in the question box, because that's the only way the system knows who to send this to. -9 in Southeast North Dakota. Okay, Kelly, you win. You win the coldest. I'm not sure if I want that title, but you do win the coldest. And I actually was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. So I've spent a lot of my life, too much of it, shoveling snow that I never want to. I'd love to visit it. I don't want to go do it and live in it again. Just not my thing, but more power to everybody who's living through that, and stay warm, everybody. Today, we're going to be talking about, hello, Sandra, hello. We're talking about reaching customers online, utilizing Google. Again, if you need closed caption, utilize this link, open up another browser, take a look at it, go to the gear icon at the top right hand, and you can select exactly what you'd like to see and how you'd like to see it, okay? Now, if you would like to learn anything that Google has available to you to support as a small business, go ahead and go to this link here. And if you are tweeting or posting, use this hashtag, because it lets the Google team know that this matters to you. And I like to encourage them to create more of this kind of education to help you use the free tools that you already use, like your free personal Gmail account and your free personal Google account. Just use these to maximize your reach, because I've been a bootstrap marketer, I continue to be, and I've been a small business owner, and I understand how important visibility is to your cash flow. So everything that I'm going to be sharing with you today is practical, that you can apply and see some results. Now, if you are tweeting or posting, also tag me, because I'm happy to repost, retweet, share in my stories, whatever that you're sharing. Okay, so take a screenshot. I would love to see it and tell me what you're learning. All right, are we ready to go? Everybody found that question box? Let's go ahead and dive on in. Say hello in that question box. Now, what do people do when they want to know, go, do, and buy? The answer is right in front of you. I already gave a teaser to it, but they Google. Google is the #1 search engine in the world. Does anybody have any idea who #2 is? Let me know in that question box. Who's the #2 search engine in the world? I'd love to hear who you think that is. And again, if you need closed caption, look right down here. That's how you get to the URL. Open up another browser, you're good to go. So let me see. Woohoo, Cooper, I'm ready. You're ready to go. YouTube, Bing, YouTube. All right, I see you here. YouTube, Safari. A few people, Safari, Microsoft, Yahoo. Hello from Grapevine, Ryan. Glad you found the question box. Facebook. All right, some great guesses there. The #2 search engine in the world is YouTube. Google's the #1, YouTube is the #2 search engine, and not only that, it's the #2 social network in the world after Facebook, Instagram, with Instagram really being the strongest one right there. So for you as a small business, it's really important for you to understand how Google search works, because it's operating in the #1 and #2 search engines in the world, which does affect the visibility that you have when people are ready to do business with you. So let's dive in, because we know that even though the whole world shut down, and we did see that in about a couple of years ago, we know that people are still going online, and that's just increasing even more. And they're going online with this. 76% go on a mobile device first when they're looking for anything. In fact, when I'm working with a web design team, like I was with yesterday morning, I tell them to, if you have limited time and resources, build for mobile first, laptop, desktop second. But mobile comes first, because this is where people go first when they want to know, go, do, or buy. They search here. And also understand how people search. Hey, Alexa, hey, Google, what are they looking for? It's important for us as a small business. Oops, let's go here. It's important for us as a small business to understand how people search. So think about that for a moment as we watch this next video. Now, I'm going to do a dangerous thing here at the very beginning, which is go to video. For some of you, you might have to switch from a actual browser on your laptop, desktop, or tablet, and you're going to have to go to your mobile device. Some of you will hear it right away. It really depends on how well your browser is updated, so just keep that in mind. If we go silent for a moment, it is because the video is playing, but you may need to call in to get that. But let's hope that we're going to hope that that's not happening, okay? But I want you to think about this as the video is playing. #1. If people know your name and they know you have a product or service that can serve them, how do they search for you? What are the words they use? Don't tell them what the words are. You need to know, you need to listen, find your best customers or people who could be potentially your best customers. Maybe they're already doing business with your competitor. Find out exactly what words they use. That's most important, their words, not your words. And then second, if they don't know you exist, but they know there's a product or service that can serve them, how are they searching for you? This is very important. Again, their words and complete phrases, not just words. Even though I'm talking about key words, there are key phrases because we say, hey, Google, hey, Alexa. Now, that's normally when I say that, somebody will tell me I just activated Alexa or Google. But we do voice search, and that is on the increase too. So think about how people voice search for you. But the third and most important question of the three is if they don't know you exist, and they don't know that there's a product or service that can serve them, what are they searching for? What are those words that will help you know that this could be a good potential customer for you and that they can find you? So think about that. Think about the moments they need you. And we're going to go to a video. Let me see if there we go. It'll play with us.
Does it work? Now, people ask us all the time, how do I get into working? There we go. Exactly. You know, what are those moments? One of those key moments. Every time I see that video and I see that guy with the baby, I think, you know, for me, I have 3 sons, so I always think about that moment when I remember thinking, I don't have any instruction manual. How do I do this, right? So think of those moments for you. When do they happen? Because my dad, he's 86 years old. My dad is 86 years old. I'm so blessed to have him in my life. And what's so funny is that when his favorite chair broke, what he did next to me was amazing. He reached for his phone. He saw who had that brand locally because it was his favorite chair, had to have that chair. He read their reviews. He saw who had local delivery, and that's how he ordered. You see, it's not generational. This is where we go. We go here when we want to know, go, do, or buy. And that's exactly what he did. It's a huge shift in the way we communicate and the way we shop. So as we look at this, think about, how does Google search work? Think of how you can reach customers. Remember the questions I asked you. What are those customer words that they're using? Their words, not yours. Create your business profile. Let me know if you have a Google business profile. Let me know in the question box. It used to be called Google My Business. Some people know it as GMB. Some know it as a Google listing. It is truly a Google business profile. The name changed at the beginning of the year. So I see some yeses, yeses, yeses. Awesome. How many of you actually post there every few days? Post on your Google business profile, making sure that it stays visible in search and maps. Perfect. I love to hear that. Let's talk about how Google search works then. Okay, once a week. Some people don't. That's okay. Something to think about on your to-do list, right? So let's think about how search works. This is what you're seeing in front of you. The animation is showing you
Google search using the Google search bar, but you can also do it in the URL. So I see some people have started. Awesome. I did after seeing you post on Instagram. Elena, thank you. So glad you're following me on IG as well. We've got Sherry. Ouch, it's been a few years. Think about that. Think about you controlling your information, because your Google business profile does make sure that your information is correct across all of Google, which is really important. And it's also important to post, because the post, like what's new posts, are only visible for 5 days. They're visible on search and maps. After that, they fall off of that. And you do want to stay top of mind and visible when somebody needs you, in those moments that we were just talking about when we watched the video. Now, this is what search looks like on a laptop or desktop. So you'll see at the very top, there's a text ad at the very top, usually denoted by the word ad here. It's usually a square, little green square to it, the organic results underneath. But look at that Google business profile there hanging out to the right, having so much visual real estate that it really pops and captures somebody's attention. When you see that, that's the importance and why I am such a big promoter of the Google business profile, and it's 100% free. So I love that. As a bootstrap marketer, I want free or small fee. And you could do that with your business profile. So when somebody is searching, they go into Google, they search, and Googlebot goes out there and searches. Now, let me tell you, or dispel a myth. A lot of people think Google is the World Wide Web, and we are not. Google is the largest library of the World Wide Web. We catalog and organize everything, but it's not the web, okay? So knowing that, wouldn't you want to make sure that you control what information you have in the library? Back in the day, when something was put into the library, we would put it in and you could search it actually by card catalog. It was actually organized that way, the Dewey Decimal System, right? And you could go out, then find it, go out to the stacks, and it was organized by subject, even by author, and you could find it. Imagine if somebody is searching for the last line of a paragraph of your book being your website. Have you entered your website into Google's library? I can often tell when people have not done that, because I'll hear things like, why is Google seeing that? Oh, that's not even what I have. That's not the updated information. That's not my business. Why won't it see this? I keep seeing that it's not seeing my page. It's not seeing my blog post. It's not seeing the latest photo I updated. And that is because normally somebody has not taken charge and entered their things into the library. They just don't know how to do it. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the door to the library and how for free you can enter the library and put up there what you want Google to see, take down what you don't want Google to see, and make sure you're as visible as possible to Google. Now, while the Google bot's amazing, I don't like to rely on it. I'm a small business, right? Cash flow's king. And I don't have time to wait 90 days when the bot might index me and might find me. I would much rather be in charge of that. I put the book in the library, I index, make sure it's cataloged, and now I am more visible when people need a product, my service, my solution. Make sense? Okay, I see a comment here, Allison. I see that I posted to Google. I've never done it intentionally, but somehow certain announcements get posted there. Oh, Allison, it might be connected. You might have something connected like a social media scheduler, maybe that you're posting it somewhere else and it's also connected through your Google business profile. Sometimes too, Allison, it's people who are posting that for us, other people like friends who might post it. So they're posting it as a guest, but they're not really claiming it. So they're not posting it as the owner. Sometimes people make mistakes too. They check in, they think they're checking in at one location. So they're looking at the pin there, but they check in another, and that happens too. Cash flow, it reminds me of Grant Cardone. I'm not Grant, but boy, I would love to be able to have that kind of command, right? But we know it as businesses, right? All of us have, whenever we're doing things, what my accountant used to tell me, she said, walk the floor. You'd walk the floor deciding what can you afford and what can you do. So all of us, I know as small businesses, have had to do that, and I understand it. So today we'll talk about how you can do these things quickly and maximize what you already have within your arm's reach. Today, as we talk about search engine optimization, some of you know that as SEO. We'll go in deeper to talk about those organic results. You see those right here, right? Okay, let me see, my pointer's going different ways. There we go. So those are the organic search results. Do know that on average, most people will only look for the first 3 pages of a Google search. So every search page of Google gives you a result of 10 organic search results. Now you did see at the very top, there's an ad, and you see your Google business profile, nice and prominent there. But this search results here, there are 10 organic search results that you cannot buy, but you can earn those by matching exactly what somebody's looking for. That is why I spent so much time at the beginning here talking about understanding the words that your actual customer uses voice search or that they type in or text in to search for their solution that they need to whatever that is, whether they know you or your product even exists or your solution or service. So we do know that on average, the first 3 pages, every organic search result page comes with 10 organic results. 3 pages, that's 30 search results. But let me tell you a little secret. That really there's a going joke that says if you want to hide a dead body, you'd hide them on the 2nd page of Google, because most people only look at page 1. And I will find that on average now, especially after the last 2 years, people look only on page 1. So if you're not showing up on page 1, then people don't even know that you exist. Unless they're hunting you down for some reason, they know your name and they're hunting you, they're not going to look past that first page. That's why it's important for you to not just show up there. You need to show up in one of the 10 searches, but if you could dominate those 10 searches, if they could all be about you, if it's one, your LinkedIn profile, a blog post you did, your website, then you posted something on Instagram, then it's another blog post that you did, and maybe you were at a ribbon cutting. If it's all about you, you now have elevated yourself and positioned yourself as an expert in your field. And no matter what our budget is, we all want to do business with the expert. We don't want to do business with somebody that's we want somebody that's good at what they do. Make sure you're showing up, and if you can, dominate the first page of a Google search. That is why I showed you just a moment ago. The business profile hangs there nice and prominent. It does get that good visual attention, which helps you with branding, also helps people remember and to find you. And that's really, really important, because if they can't find you, they do not know you exist. If they do not know you exist, they cannot do business with you. Okay, so search engine optimization, that means making sure our website is showing up better for search engines. And we can do this by understanding how people are searching for us, making sure that we're connecting with customers, and that will help us with our sales. Now, remember, if you want a copy of today's slides and a copy of the recording, you want to slow me down, speed me up, repeat this, do make a comment in the question box, because that's the only way that the system will know that you want a recording. So you can publish great content there. Content is really important. Content, when I say content, means text, it means a photo, it also means video. That is all content, okay? It's just different formats of content. You do need to use good page titles and descriptions. So can anybody guess what the #1 search phrase is if you need tech support? That this is something that we saw actually during the whole lockdown pandemic, everything. What is the #2 or the #1 search phrase if you need tech support? Anybody guess? All right. Okay, I see you, Ahmed. I see you, Jasmine. I see you, Alistair. I see you, Courtney. Perfect. Anybody guess? All right, let me tell you, because it surprises many people, that the #1 search phrase, if you want tech, TECH support, is I hate my computer. Exactly, Vanessa, I hate my computer. So if you are doing page titles and descriptions, if you're saying tech support, you're missing people. All right, if that's what you're putting in all your posts on social and on your website. But if your page titles, your YouTube headlines, everything in there says, has your mantra been, I hate my computer? We can help you with that. Have you started today by saying, holy cow, I hate my computer? If you use that, now you're matching. That's why it's so important for us to know the words. And then it's also important for it to be organized. We do an entire webinar about using your website actually to work for you, making your website work better for you. And we know that disorganized websites are the #1 reason that people hop off, they bounce to look at a competitor, because a lot of people treat their website like a junk drawer. They just put everything in because they're just so excited to get traffic, to get eyeballs, people looking there, that they put everything there. So Google Trends can help you understand what actual content is important. Remember, text, video, and photos. Now, this is my unsung hero that I like to share with people. I carry the flag of Google Trends because a lot of people don't realize this. This is 100% free. And you can look in here to see what phrases people are searching for right now in your community or around your industry. You can find out what is on the rise, because now you can get there and be aligned with what people are talking about. And it really is easier to show up on people's radar if you are there in the conversations and the content that they're most interested in. I call this fish where the fish are. We've all heard that saying before, and I'm a huge fan of it because I know the tremendous time, energy, and money that it takes to get people to look over here when they're all over here spending time. I would much rather meet them here and now get some visibility from them because that's where the masses are. There's a huge amount that has to happen of time and money to be able to teach them to come over to this other location. Does that make sense? Now you can see patterns, you can research keywords for your website, you can actually monitor what your brand is as far as what's happening in popularity. So let's dive a little bit deeper in here before we move to the next topic, which is finding out what the relevant products and topics are. You can see around that. You can see seasonal trends, like I said. You can know exactly what the words are that people are looking to find you, to find somebody in your industry, or to even find your competitor. So I like to start the day because I put columns into my Google Trends having competitors of a business in there. And I start the day with my cup of coffee, I bring that up, and I look to see how people are finding competitors. And I use those words to be able to do posts and updates and blogs and videos for the businesses that I'm connected with. And now they can show up and get that visibility. And some of those eyeballs that are looking for your competitors can now be turned and looking your way. Example, when also to make some even good business decisions, we were working with a veterinarian in Corpus Christi, Texas, and they found out that in their community in Corpus Christi, around that surrounding area, they were talking about cheap veterinary help, cheap veterinarian is what they were looking for. And while he wasn't the cheapest, what he did is he used that to do a blog post and video as well as all his social posts. And he said, while we're not the cheapest veterinarian in Corpus Christi, we are the best. And here are the 4 reasons that make us the best. So again, he didn't want to spend all that time, energy doing that. He wanted to meet people where they are, be able to match them, and to have them come looking his way. You can also use it to monitor those competitors like I was talking about, to refresh your content. And we were working with a pizza place, all right? In a local area, this pizza place really felt like in order for him to do better business, he needed to lower his prices and maybe come up with different varieties, different kind of, toppings. And he was wondering what toppings. He was thinking a pineapple, a Hawaiian pizza would work, but he was not in Hawaii. What he did look for in his local community is they were talking about local fresh vegetables, farm to table, their local farmers market. What he decided to do was axe the idea about lowering his price, forget about the Hawaiian pizza. He went to 2 local farms, and he said this in all of his social posts and everything that he did on his site and YouTube was that we decided to do business with these 2 local farms, and every day we feature these local farms vegetables on our pizza. Again, this provides you the opportunity to see what's trending on YouTube, as well as what people are shopping. If this is a new business to you and you don't know the seasonal trends, you might need to pull all the way back to the beginning of time, which for Google is 2004. And now you can go ahead and see what those patterns are. It could be seasonal. It could be that you're looking for a longer pattern. Maybe you have something that's a high ticket item where there's a longer purchasing cycle, okay? Any questions around this? I'd love to know in the question box how you're using Google Trends, or is this the first you've ever heard of it? Let me know in the question box. All right. You also need to make sure your site is fast. This is so key. We are not patient people. If your site does not load on a mobile device in 4 seconds or less, that's 4 seconds on a mobile, you will lose over half, 53% of your traffic. So you could be working your butt off over here, posting on social, running ads, doing YouTube videos, sending them to your site. But if your site takes longer than 4 seconds, you'll lose 53%, over half of your traffic. And for every second over, you'll lose another 10%, okay? How fast your site loads on a mobile device is critical. In fact, I work with a lot of e-commerce people, and I will tell them, stay at about 1.8 seconds, because if you don't, people will hop off. And you need to know this, because even though I'm a huge fan of Shopify, we do a whole webinar about how you can do e-commerce, and we even recommend and talk about Shopify. And then I'm a huge fan. I use about 12 different Shopify stores, but I will tell you that some of the themes, the pre-built themes, the pre-built designs in Shopify take 3.8 seconds to load. Imagine now you put content, photo, video, text on there. How long are you delaying that load time? 4 seconds or less, okay? This is really important. Also, look and see what it looks like on all browsers and all devices. For you to show up in the first 10 searches, the first page of a Google search, you have to have a mobile-friendly site. When I say mobile-friendly, mobile responsive, you need to be able to see it without pinching or zooming and without swiping side to side. That's important. If you have to do either of those, it's not mobile-friendly, and therefore you will be penalized and show up lower on an actual search. There's nothing you can do with your amazing content if that part's not right. The same thing with fast load time. The last thing is to test your site and use the Google Search Console, which is the door to the library, to make sure that all of your information is there, it's correct, and it's seen by Google. Because if Google can see it, now when somebody's searching, they have the opportunity to see it too. So I see here, this is the first. A lot of you are hearing about it. Let me see what else. And I want people looking for tech support to find me. How would I have been able to find out that these people are searching for me? To use I hate my computer. You'd be able to find out, Lee, by using Google Trends. Go to g.co/trends, put tech support, that's what you do, and then find out, or even your competitor's name, and find out what they're searching for, the actual words that they're using or saying, hey Google, hey Alexa. Find those actual words in Google Trends, because that's what it gives to you. That's the power of the tool. So that's a great question. Now, you want to know how fast or how slow your site loads? If you want to know that, then oops, went a little fast here. Oh, we go. There we go. Go ahead and go to g.co/test my site. I get so excited because you guys have such great questions, and these are amazing tools that many people don't know about. But test my site gives you the opportunity to put in your site address, that domain name, your URL, and find out how fast or slow your site loads on a mobile device. So let me know if you've already been doing this while I've been chatting. Let me know how fast or slow your site is. What is even better, it will tell you what is slowing down your site. And here's the best part of it. It'll tell you how to fix it. You'll get a report on how to fix it. So I have 3 sons. One of my sons does web design, so he handles all of my web design requests. And what I'll do is I'll run this every quarter. I get the report and I give it to him, and I say fix it. That's my tech. That's as techie as I get, right? It's just that helpful. Yes, it's g.co/test my site. It's right here at the very bottom left-hand corner of the slide that you see in front of you, right? You're seeing the slides, just making sure. All right, that's right there. If you want to take a screenshot, I'll get my pointer out of the way. But again, if you want a copy of today's slides or the recording, make sure you comment there. Okay, I see some people, 2.6 seconds. All right, 1.3 seconds. Selena, you win. 2 seconds, perfect. Danya, 1.8 seconds. Is that 1.8? Yeah, 1.8, Natalie. Sorry, it's 8-point font. So perfect. Oh, that's awesome. Your sites are loading nice. Good job, everybody. Great job at that. All right, the next tool that I want to share with you, I mentioned a few times, the door to the library, is also called Google Search Console. Sorry, did not want to do that in your ear. It's called Google Search Console. So it used to be called Google Webmaster Tools. So some of you may know it that way, but it is Google Search Console. It's actually been that way for the last 6-7 years. And this is what's called the door to the site. So look at the bottom left-hand corner here. You can go to g.co/search console. And this is where you can confirm you're the owner. You can make sure that Google knows what pages to see, what not to see. It will tell you if your site is responding mobile friendly or mobile responsive. It will let you know if there's any issues. So while Google Analytics tells you how people behave on your site, Google Search Console tells you the health of your site and what search engines are seeing about your site. So is there an interface in Google that allows access to these tools instead of having to input the web address? You can, as far as in your Google, when you're, I was gonna say, not Google Search Console. No, you'd have to put the actual web address in Google Search Console. But Nancy, I'll give you a whole sheet of that in just a moment if you want to screenshot that too. Okay, so there isn't, unless you're of course at google.com and you look at all the products Google has. There's an entire listing with all the icons, and they're all right there. So you could go there too. Okay, just to save yourself a step, you might want to find that page and then bookmark it. So when you are in Google Search Console, you can start putting in the phrases that you need. You can start knowing how your business shows up. I encourage you today, if anything else, that after this webinar, go Google yourself. Find out where you show up.
find out what shows up, because I've seen people be surprised that they didn't realize when they uploaded videos that the video name was IMG_992. They didn't realize it was that way when they need to rename it and use alternate text, which matches what people are searching for. They'll see that a video has a different name. They'll find out that the title or headline of something that they've put up or they've uploaded is way too long and is getting cut off and it's not seen. So do Google yourself. Find out exactly what's showing up. And if you hang with me here to the end, I can show you what's showing up in the library for you if you want me to. I'll be happy to show you that, okay? But that's at the end, after everything's done. Again, I will finish on time if not beforehand, but I do want to make sure that I'm here if you have any questions. Anything amazing that you've learned right now that you feel like has really helpful or that you're going to add to your to-do list? Just give me a shout out in the question box, because I like to make sure that you are applying what you're learning, because knowledge is not power unless it's applied, okay? Knowledge is not power unless it's applied. All right. So when you have a business profile, see how it shows up nice and prominent there, getting some good visibility, always on the first page of an organic search right there. So if you've not started a profile, I see many of you have, go to google.com, right, lots of URLs, /business, and start your profile, claim it there, because this really determines how your information and what your information is that shows across all of Google search and maps. And it's important that your information is correct, because when people see your hours of operation and they say you're open and you're closed and they go there, they're not mad at Google, they're mad at you, okay? And that's not a good first impression, because we know those are still lasting. Okay, 3 pages and growing, perfect. I had no idea all these tools, perfect. Natalie, I'm glad it's helpful. Your list is growing, Dee. I understand that. A big to-do list, just prioritize those. So with your business profile, think about that. You could put videos up there, you could put photos, all of that content. Something that you're using, like a video that you post on Instagram, can actually also be added to your Google business profile. It's the same dimensions. I know. I love this. I'm all about repurposing content. I don't ever want to have to make so much content that I'm not getting value from it. Plus, I know not everybody's on Instagram. Not everybody's on TikTok, not everybody's on LinkedIn, but they do search and utilize Google. And what's wrong with hitting them in both places? Because I know people get about 7 to 12 messages, or take 7 to 12 times to see a message before they can hear it. They're getting 12,000 messages a day. So I do want to stand out by being able to do that. Okay, let me see. I just found out my connection is 4.3 seconds. Okay. Absolutely. Yes, it could be your Shopify theme. Absolutely, Allison, it could. Can you create a business profile for an online store and only? No, Courtney, you cannot. They'll say it clearly that you cannot, but a little expert tip as somebody who's a bootstrap marketer. There are some times when I will deliver something to my accountant. I will hand it to him and her. It's a husband-wife team. Or I might bring something when I go to the coffee house. You know, I'm going to get coffee and I'm meeting somebody there. So because I do that and I am local, then I am going to use the Google Business Profile, because I deliver products and services to my customer's location. So then I'll check yes, then I'll do that. But I'll check no, that I don't want to publish my actual location, because I don't want anybody showing up at my house. Make sense? 3.6 seconds. All right. How do I get on Google Home? Oh, Ahmed, that's a totally different subject. We'll talk about that afterwards. Okay. In fact, you'd probably be better if you contact the Google partner that invited you, because they can answer that question for you. And if you want to reply to the email that I send you, the recording and the slides, you can. And I can connect you with who you need to know about that. That would probably be the better way. Okay. Remember what I said about posts, everybody. You do need to do posts, because those what's new posts, those what's new, they only stay visible for 5 days on Google Search and Maps. So posting at minimum every 5 days to keep that visibility going. And you can post about what's new, what's happening behind the scenes. You can post about somebody new maybe that's coming in to help your business, so a new team member, or a team member that's been with you for 20 years and celebrating them being with you and their loyalty, or a new product, and give the behind the scenes, because we all love that. Know that 4 out of 5 videos that are popular on YouTube are unboxing videos. People want to see the product. They want to be able to make a good decision and get all of the information they need to make that decision. You can also manage your reviews online. We know that third-party validation is very important. People read reviews, okay? Over 80% of people read their online reviews.
86% look at the business's response to a review. So respond to your reviews, because 75% of businesses do not respond to their reviews, and 97% don't even say thank you for a good review. So if you'd like to stand out head and shoulders above your competition, say thank you for a good review. Then you're up at the 3%, you're standing out, and it's not costing you any additional money, okay? And then you can also get messages there. So you can actually get a link to messages there. People can be on search and maps. They want to message you, and it will be able to be sent to and seen to 3 different locations. So you can do this. They don't see your cell phone number. They don't see your mobile number, but it is like text messaging. Do not enable this if you're not fast at responding. Okay, this is not a 24-hour email response rate. This is somebody's expecting a response within the next hour or 2. 6 hours is a lifetime on text. And actually people will think you're ignoring them, which is not the first impression you want for them either, okay? All right, let's see here. Is it weird to suddenly start responding to good reviews that I have to? No, you know what? I truly believe there's nothing wrong with saying thank you at any time. Immediately is better, because now it gets more visibility from other people too that are in their circle of influence, but it's never a wrong time to say thank you. So go ahead, Allison, and say thank you. And that may encourage them to even make a comment, because they'll get a little ding letting them know that you responded to this review. And we want that. I mean, who wants to talk to a business? So you have to think about that these days. Who wants to talk to a business who doesn't listen? Because imagine, I'm an Amazon shopper, so it's really easy for me to go on my phone and go to Amazon. It takes effort for me to say, I'm not going to go into the app. I'm going to do business with somebody locally. Okay, let me bring that up. I do business with them. And now I leave a review and I said, you know what? I didn't realize you had this. I'm so excited and looking forward to more business. This is something that I like ordering ever. I might say something like that. And then if they don't respond to me, now I'm like, why did I go through all that effort of doing all that if they're not even listening to me? They don't value me enough as a customer to listen and respond. We all want to be heard by people that we do business with. None of us wants to do business with somebody that's not listening, right? All right, so if you don't have a business profile, this is how you can request one. If you want to take a screenshot of this, you do have to go through a verification process to prove that you're the business owner. It's usually pretty simple. The big key here is once you submit it, don't change anything on it, or you'll get in this horrible verification loop. So submit it and then leave it alone, but double check your work before you hit submit, okay? Any questions? Oh, I have a lot of responding. No worries, no worries. You know what? Just say, hey, I still appreciate, I tell people, thanks for the stars. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to get here, but that does not discount how much gratitude I have for you doing this, okay? So you can get that forgiveness when you talk people to people. They are all very often forgiving, okay? Now, the next I'm going to talk about way you can amplify with advertising. So this is the little portion that does talk about paid, but I like to talk to people about how they can maximize this and not even pay. I mean, you do have to pay for the ads, because anytime somebody clicks or calls, that's why it's called CPC, cost per click, PPC, pay per call. You have to click. When somebody clicks, you have to pay when they click. But I like to do things before they click and still maximize visibility there. That's just the bootstrapper, and this is what Google actually promotes. So we do like you to maximize the tools. So let's talk about online advertising. Again, I'm going to go to a video, so give me just a moment to bring that up. Hold on. Again, if you lose the audio, just know you might have to switch to a different device, but hopefully not. There we go. Sorry, take a moment to bring it up.
Everybody likes jam. Who doesn't like jam? Seriously, I dream about flavors. Trade Street Jam Company makes low-sugar vegan jams for pretty much everything under the sun. Honey, do you know how many things you can do with this jam? You can make cocktails, you can put on roasted meats or veggies, oatmeal. The uses are endless. I've been a chef for about 15 years. I needed something fun to do after work. I'm not a big TV watcher. I would stop at this store on the way home, grab a bunch of fruit, anything weird and exotic that they had, and I start cooking. I start jamming. Too much? You don't like the puns?
Do you like the bananas, honey? Yeah.
My husband is my test dummy, I guess you can say.
You want some more?
You like mommy's cooking?
When I started Trade Street, I was selling on another e-commerce platform, and we were also selling a lot of jam in person. But COVID hit and all the markets shut down, which freaked me out. I'm already scared about being a new mommy. And then on top of that, I'm worried about the life of my business. People started ordering specialty food online, so we immediately had to pivot and focus all of my efforts on selling online. When people go on Google and they search jam or jelly, I want them to be able to find my brand. With Google Ads, they can type those things in and I pop up. You guys, that's huge. Being able to sell on our website, it really did save us. I couldn't imagine going back to not using Google products. We went from making 2,000 jars every 2 months to making 2,000 jars every 2 weeks. Our sales increased by 1,000%. It was crazy. I've hired 4 or 5 different contractors. Hiring feels amazing. I think it's so important for our product to have a story behind it. I think when people see a woman behind the brand, a person of color, it just really adds something to that jar other than jam.
Oh, you kiss mommy? You kissing mommy?
I want Zola to be able to grow up and look at me and say, like, my mom did that. I wouldn't trade that for the world.
Agreed, agreed. I wouldn't trade that for the world either. And if everybody hear me all right, let me know in the question box. I always worry about that when I come back on. All right, let's go ahead then and let's go from blank screen to a better screen. There we go. We're getting the feed now. All right, everybody can hear. All right, let me show you this part, and I am going to go ahead and turn off my video, but I'm still here. I'm live and in person, but I do want you to see what I'm showing on the screen. So you can see here that when you advertise, you can actually reach other people and control your ad and budget. This is really important. So if you've not visited Google Ads, you'll see here at the very bottom left-hand corner, the g.co/ads. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know that you can hear me. Now, when you start advertising, I do recommend that you start with Smart Campaign. So what a Smart Campaign is, it's the ad libs of Google Ads. You fill in the blank, and when you fill in the blank, what happens is now you walk through. It's pretty intuitive with picking out your keywords, picking out what you want to focus on, and it truly does help you get started in just a few minutes. A Smart Campaign actually relies on all the experience Google has with that industry, and you get to borrow from other people's experience and then test out to see if this is a good fit for you and your ads. Make sense? So to get started with a Smart Campaign, what you do need to do is decide what that goal is. What are you going to promote? What do you want people to see? So keep this is a great checklist as you're getting ready to start an ad. And then as we walk through what it looks like when you're doing a Google ad, when you start a Smart Campaign, you'll start with a goal. This is everything. Okay, slow down here a minute because this is how you build the foundation of what you're doing. You need to know, do you want calls? Do you want people to come in your store? Do you have a store site and an actual website? Are you doing both? Then you'll put your information in here, which is your correct information, like the name of your business. Remember, correct spelling, double check your work. And then after that, if you do have a business profile, it'll bring in your information there so you can have everything populated. You can enter the name as you want it to see in the ad. So what are people used to calling it? Because some people might have the ABC Limited Corporation and they have another name that most people see that's public facing. Then where should the ad lead people? Let me pause here for a moment because this is important. I see a lot of people fail at ads of any kind. Give it any of the social platform ads to this because they take them to their homepage. I understand. I have been that person of, oh my gosh, you got somebody to finally look at your site. You want to show them everything that you can show them. So you send them to the homepage. The problem is you told them you were going to take them to the strawberry jam page. And now they have to look through the classes and the videos that you're doing about jam, maybe even the story or a recipe that you're highlighting for the recipe of the month, but I can't find the strawberry jam. And if I can't find it, I will bounce, I will leave. So when you look at your Google Analytics and you see a high bounce rate, it usually means there's a disconnect between what somebody was looking for in a post or in a link of a profile and where they actually landed when they got to your site. Remember, take them to the page.
take them where you told them you're going to take them. When you do that, you not only help them buy from you, make it easy for them to buy from you, you also start building trust and credibility because you took them where you told them you're going to take them. And that's very important. That is where a lot of people absolutely lose in their links that they're doing, whether it's in ads or in posts. Now you can see what people are going to see. Google Ads will show you what it'll look like on a mobile or a desktop. After you've had a chance to get a good visual on that, now you can start writing your ad. You only have a little bit of space per each. You'll see right here, it'll show you how many characters. A character is a letter. It's a grammatical mark. It's a space. All of that is a character. So you only have 30 characters. So you really have to be brief, very succinct. Now, what I love about the Smart Campaign is because it is relying on Google's AI, artificial intelligence. The machine learning is telling them what actually works for people within this industry, and you can choose whether or not you want to keep that keyword or not. Now, for those of you who don't plan to do an ad, this is the page where you start taking a look at what keywords it's suggesting, because it's giving you suggestions based on the volume and its experience in this industry. Those are keywords you can use in any of your content that you're putting out to drive people to your site. Okay, so you don't have to use it in ads. You can stop right now and you've gotten this information. But if you're going to continue on with ads, you can decide to have it near your address or put specific zip codes or cities or regions or even counties that you want it to show up to, because maybe you don't do business locally. Maybe your business is 25 miles down the road in another town. Okay, now you can put your advertising there, getting the most bang for your buck. You can also set a daily budget and encourage you to do this. Limit that budget, set it daily. Now, let me explain daily budgets for a moment, because daily budgets are just that, daily budget. So let's say it's $10 a day. In the course of the week, that would be $70, because if you're advertising, for the sake of this example, 7 days a week. So let's say Monday, people are really looking for jam. So you might end up spending $12 on Monday, but you said $10 a day. That's okay though, because people aren't really looking for jam on Tuesday. So you only spent $8 on Tuesday. It does even out over the course of the week. So keep that in mind. That's the daily budget. It'll keep it around there, but it is also projecting out to what you'll spend in the week. And then after you do that, and a lot of times, let me go back to this, I like to work with what Google recommends. And here's why. That's because artificial intelligence, the machine learning, is teaching me this, but I can now look at this in 3 days and come back and measure whether or not an ad's working, whether I want to continue it or put more money towards it. If an ad, let's say I'm spending $10 and it's bringing me $1,000 a day, then I want to test really, maybe if I go to $20, will it give me $2,000 a day? Is there an exponential growth happening there? So I can test that out. I am not a set it, forget it gal, because I'm a huge fan of the phrase, if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that isn't lifting the bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1 or 1 minute spent too much. I believe that on socials, where a lot of people think it's free, but your time is money or more valuable than money. And I also believe the same thing in ads. Now review everything. Remember what I said about double checking your work before you hit submit on anything. And now what you can do is you can start looking and seeing what keywords are actually working. What's the volume of that? How many people are actually searching in the areas? Is it the areas that you thought that people were actually coming from? Or are there other areas to look at? And you can monitor that performance. Remember what I said about no set it and forget it. So has this been helpful for you? Let me come back on camera here. Has this been helpful? Have you taken away something already that you think, man, this is meaningful, I need to put this on my list today? Perfect. I see a question here. Is Google Business Profile available internationally? Not yet. It is in some locations, but not everywhere across the world. So not yet. Okay. So it may not be available to you. It depends on your country. But do Google it. Take a look at it. Perfect. I'm glad it's been helpful. So this is something to take a look at. Look at where you're showing up. Google yourself first. That's number one. And then see where you actually appear. Does your business profile show up? Have you claimed that yet and verified that you're the owner? Are you posting regularly, at least every 5 days? Now you can start looking at what the trends are. Google Trends. If you want to use Test My Site Nancy, this might be helpful to you. At least this is one sheet where all the URLs are together, and you can take a screenshot right now till you get a copy of the slides tomorrow. But you can test your site, test whether or not your trends, what trends are actually trending in your local area or around your competitors or yourself. And you can also make sure that everything's correct that's entered into Google's library. You can now claim and start posting for your Google business profile. So that's this URL here, or you can start looking at ads, maybe utilizing some of the information from ads. Even if you don't complete an ad, find out more. Lean into and find out what machine learning is already showing you. And as I said, everything on one sheet, this is it. I call this the money slide. Take a shot of this, screenshot of this. If you don't want to wait till tomorrow and you're ready to put things on your to-do list. So can credit repair companies run ads on Google? Oh, Marie, I don't think you can. I think there's a limit on what you can put, but I don't know the industry well enough to tell you that. So please do reach out to the Google partner that invited you, because they'll have resources and they'll be able to actually ask the Google team directly. You can, again, reply to the email that I send you, the slides and the copy of today's recording. I'll send that tomorrow. You can reply there, but if you really want a timely response, I would reach out to the Google partner who invited you, okay? Like right now, what, Cooper? I missed it. I missed the first part. So please let me know. So no sales. Okay, if you've got no sales when you did an ad, think about maybe, look at the creative content. So could it be the photo? Could it be the words that you're using? Go to Google Trends, look at the words, look at your keyword planner within Google Ads. There's a free keyword planner in there, and see if there's enough. If only 10,000 people are searching the word, that's not enough visibility. You need at least 25,000 people searching a phrase or a word. Or when you go to Google Trends, if it's something on the upsweep, you see it's breaking or a breakout term, or it's increasing by plus 200%. That's a great time for you to get in on that word and use it in your post and all sorts of free content that you do online. But you can also use it as ads, and it's a whole lot less expensive than a very popular term right now. So one that's breaking out or just increasing is also good to see. Okay. All right, perfect. You're going to implement everything right away, Cooper. I love it. Thank you. So if you want to learn more, we every quarter have topics that we cover on our Google On Air. You can go here to this website and sign up to get notified. Of course, reach out to your Google partner because they're actively doing webinars and workshops like this. Get the Google Primer app. This is 100% free, and it's on Google Play Store or iOS, the iPhone, and you can see some playlist already, lessons there on how you can get better at reaching your customers online. And then of course you can always go to this site that I started with sharing with you, where we have all the topics that either your Google partner who invited you can train, or I myself, they might invite me back so that I can come and train you again, okay? I'm happy to do that. All right, we've covered a lot. Deep breath, decompress. What is the one thing that you're going to get started with? Remember, knowledge is not power unless it's applied. What are you going to apply and add to your to-do list? And was this meaningful to you today? I would love to know in the question box. And as I said, if you've got a question, I will hang out. We are at time, so I do understand if you're busy and you have to get down the road. I want to encourage you to stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands because it's just good hygiene, and say thank you to your Google partner who invited you, which is SCORE Fort Worth, SCORE Austin, SCORE Dallas, and the Jamestown's Regional Entrepreneur Center. Okay, Jamestown Regional Entrepreneur Center. So I'm excited to have everybody from North Dakota as well as the state of Texas here. But what did you learn and what questions do you have? As long as somebody's asking questions, I'm going to hang out here. But if you need to go, I understand. I am going to stop the recording right now, though.